Hello and welcome to my voice recording for the video analysis of the Abject Object, which is a tongue twister, cognitive identity. So my interpretation of the task was to find objects that have an element of something being a bit disturbing, degraded, or repulsive or unsettling. So I think something that I thought of is like food leftovers on a plate, because that's always something that grosses people out because I guess it has germs on it and it's just seen as trash, I guess. But I've always thought it's very wasteful. So I've taken photos of my leftovers from lunch, and it includes the end of a tomato, some camembert cheese that I dropped on the floor on accident, and I didn't eat it. No 5-second rules. I don't believe in that. And then I've got a can of a sort of fizzy drink, and above it I have a tray for ice cubes that has some water droplets on it to kind of show that it's been in use. I've got some bread, a squeezed lemon, I've got a digestive enzyme tablet, and a knife with a breadcrumb on it. So these are all objects that have an element of ick. It's not something that you would want to touch, and especially if it wasn't your leftovers. For the first image on the first row, I named it Russian Barbie because of the relationship I have with that object, is that it looks like a ballerina, and it reminds me of when I went to the ballet with my niece and we watched the Nutcracker, which I believe is Russian, so that's why I connected it to Russian Barbie, because the reason we watched the Nutcracker is because when we were kids we liked the Barbie the Nutcracker. And then the next one is the ice tray, which says the best things in life are $2.99. Originally, the ice tray theme was resourceful, not resentful, and the lemon was the best things in life are $2.99. But they got accidentally swapped, and I saw this as a sign of the universe, so I kept it there. So now the meaning of that is that when it's hot you can have ice, and that tray maybe was only $3, so you don't need a lot of money to be very happy. And then the lemon would just be the classic, when life gives you lemon to make lemonade, but instead of being a perfect lemon, it's a squished used lemon to show that it's already being used. And then the next one is the tomato, which is salt and sleep, and that's because in my family we have this really iconic photo of my brother as like maybe a 3-year-old, and he's fallen asleep with his head on the table and his hand holding half a tomato, like that he fell asleep while eating it. And so he loved just eating like a whole tomato just with salt on it. So that's why I called it salt and sleep. And then the next one is of the bread leftovers, and I called that soft voice because my old housemate used to like to make bread and they had a very soft voice. And then the next one is the can, which is you can't deny joy is ... fun. And that's because the lemonade is like usually an unhealthy drink. If they have adrenaline and risk, they're more fun. And it's questioning the idea of like balancing addiction, like in terms of treats, when it's okay to have a treat and when it's not, or anything that's harmful, like what is the appropriate amount, or at what point is it not good to have. And then the cheese one is accidentally dropping the cheese, and then connecting that to was dropping them a mistake. Like the bloaties one has are you pregnant, implying like someone who looks just pregnant, but they're just bloated, which happened to me because I was asked once, are you pregnant? But I was actually just bloated. And then the knife one is faded to black because it's like the opposite of what happens usually when something's black. It fades to a lighter color, but fading to black means going back to your pure self, so it's reverse. So it's like the knife cutting bread but in reverse, so it's fading to black.